Well, hey everybody. I'm back here over at my car again today, and I got a little something here for you. Some of you may remember in 2018 when I did the video about the timing belt and the water pump. I had mentioned about that one time I had a pulley bearing that was going bad, and then it ended up seizing. Well, the latter hasn't happened, thankfully, but the former, yep, it's happened again. So it's probably down there somewhere that I'll point out to you momentarily. But one thing I want to do for you first is right now the engine's totally cold, so this will be a cold start. I just want you to hear the sound that your pulley bearing makes when it's bad, and also when the engine's cold, because it's a sound you certainly won't forget. So give me a second here, and let me start it up. All right, and here we go. Like I said, when everything is cold, that's when the bearing definitely makes the most noise, and you'll hear that momentarily. So let me go ahead and get this started up. Yep, I'm sure right away you can hear that noise and you immediately know something isn't right. So that's the sound of the pulley bearing. And you can hear it does quiet down within a few seconds, but that's definitely not a sound you want to hear. So got my light here. So here's where I'm thinking that it is. You can hear it's gotten even quieter now. That idler pulley right there, see that one right there? Okay. That pulley was replaced in 2013, and that pulley, I had told you, got to the point where it actually seized up. And then the belt that also drives the alternator and the AC compressor, you can see the alternator is just right next to it. Maybe you can see it right there. Okay. The belt actually burned up, and then it broke off. So, as you know, the car was able to get to a service place safely. Just, you know, when you don't have the alternator going, you want the car to use as little as possible. So, like, you know, no radio, no air conditioning, no headlights, and it got there just fine. Because without the alternator, everything runs off the battery. Now, because this belt was still okay, I still had the water pump and I still had the power steering pump going. So that's how I was able to get the car safely there. But now, if you look down here. Let me see. Okay, so the power steering pump is that big pulley right there. But now if you look right down here, all right, there's an idler pulley right there, okay? That's the pulley, I think, that's making that noise, because that pulley is making the same sound that this pulley did back when, and it's still original. So that's kind of making me believe that that pulley is the thing causing the issue. Now you can see that the pulley is still spinning, which is good. The only problem is, as a pulley bearing gets bad, eventually it can get so bad to the point where the pulley ends up seizing. And if that pulley ends up seizing, that's trouble, because, like I said before, this belt drives not only the power steering pump, but it also drives the water pump right there. And without the water pump, you cannot run an engine, because if you do that, it's going to overheat, and overheat bad. So that's why you really can't do that. So you can see it's quieted down now, but yesterday when I got home from work, it was still making that noise noticeably, for sure. And when I noticed that it was a little bit louder, I'm like, no, I really don't feel safe driving this to work. So my next day off is going to be Friday, and that's when I'm going to take the car in to get that pulley looked at. Again, I think it's that pulley down there. Maybe I can ask them to save the pulley for me and everything. But in the meantime, my mom's been nice enough to let me take her car to work. Certainly appreciate that of her. Been very nice. For the next 2 days, so I'm still able to get to work safely in that regard. So very nice of her to do that. See, like I said down there, okay, just below, there's the power steering pump again, and just below that, there's another idler pulley. Okay, I think that's the pulley that's making that noise. And that pulley is just in between that and also the crankshaft pulley. The crankshaft pulley is what drives the belts. For those of you who don't know, so. It actually has quieted down now, which is nice, but still, I don't quite feel safe driving the car with it in that condition. Now, I'll put the light there. I really shouldn't do this, but okay. Let me try hitting the throttle and see if the sound comes back a little bit. Okay, that's interesting. It's actually still pretty quiet now, but still, maybe it's maybe got a little bit better. But you know, a pulley bearing isn't going to fix itself. Okay, it's only going to get worse over time, and you know, like I said, eventually it could seize up and certainly cause issues down the road. And depending on what belt it's running or that it's on, could be not so bad, could be terrible. Just so you know. But you got the idea. So let me go ahead and just stop this for now. Yep. So like I had said before, that sound is definitely a pulley bearing. If it was the belt, a slipping belt tends to make more of a squeaking sound than more of a, what would you call that, metallic sound? So yeah, I mean, down there is where I definitely think I heard the most noise come from. And I remember going here yesterday and I was kind of listening onto it. I had like my head kind of down to the area here. And it did sound like this is where most of the noise was coming from. I definitely think it's in that area right there. Now, and I also looked at this one again because I remember this one made some noise, like I had said back in 2013. And from what I could tell, I couldn't hear anything on there. So I think that one's still fine since that one's a replacement. And that one's the original down below there. And also, one good thing too is that both when I went to work yesterday and also when I came home, I popped the hood and kind of like, you know, smelled around the engine. It just smelled like a regular hot engine. Like I didn't smell any like, you know, hot rubber or anything like that. So I know the pulley is still spinning and the belt's not slipping on it, which is good. Because like I had said, this pulley seized and it got to the point where the belt smoked and it broke off. But amazingly, I got onto my driveway from work when it happened. It could have happened any other time, but it happened as soon as I got into the driveway. So my luck was definitely on my side there. But I mean, like you could hear, aside from that pulley, the engine itself sounds okay. So I think it's just that problem right there. So what I'll do is, you know, after the engine's all fixed, I'll make another video, an update video, and you can hear the difference, and you'll see what I mean. I just want to say, though, guys, when you have a pulley bearing like that, it could be luck of the draw. It could fail very soon. It could fail after months. But regardless, if your pulley makes a noise like that, get it replaced, definitely, because, like I said, worst case scenario, it'll seize up and the belt will burn off. And that's happened to me before, so I know how that could be. So stay tuned, and we will have an update video on this for when everything is all fixed, okay? Thank you for watching. Take care.